Are we dealing with a juvenile murderer who could be released from the charges?
Disturbing body camera footage from January 27th shows hospital staff speaking with officers after a newborn was found inside the bloody bathroom Travisco had just used.
The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid.
That young woman is Alex Travisco, and she is currently walking straight towards killing her baby, or at least that's what is presumed. This 19-year-old became pregnant, and sometime after the process, her baby was found dead in a container covered in blood. The images are too graphic to show. It seems that the young woman had no idea she was pregnant.
I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigation.
Well, from what it seems, we can see her quite scared. This happened a while after the death or the discovery of her deceased baby. She was in the bathroom and apparently came out alone. But although it may seem hard to believe, there have been cases of people not realizing their pregnancy, their belly not growing, until it's in its final stages, when the water breaks. However, whether she killed the baby or if it was stillborn, that question remains in doubt for all the personnel involved. He is Alex's lawyer, who is defending the reasons why she shouldn't be imprisoned. According to his own words, she cannot be charged until proven otherwise.
I don't think that there's anything surprising or unusual about it. Number one, she should be considered innocent until proven guilty, one. Number two, and more importantly, as far as deciding whether to give her a lower bond or what have you, she's not a flight risk. She's a 19-year-old girl. Unless she's an heiress to some fortune where she can flee the country or whatever, but I'm sure that the court, if that were the case, would have probably confiscated any kind of passport, which is standard. So I don't think she's a flight risk. The whole purpose of bond is to make sure that someone shows up in court.
Under this argument, they managed to have her released on parole, but the conditions were quite lenient. Not only is she not required to wear a monitoring bracelet, her bail is only $100,000 because nothing has been confirmed. But is this really true? Charles Rickers specializes in these types of cases, and in 2019, he was responsible for preventing the young Brooke from being convicted.
Defendant, please rise. With regard to count one, we, the jury in the above captioned case, find the defendant, Brooke Schuyler Richardson, not guilty of the offense of aggravated murder, and there appear to be 12 jury signatures affixed.
As can be seen in the statement, this young woman, who also killed her baby and buried it in her backyard, was acquitted of the charges. So are we sure that it wasn't really that? According to the lawyer's claims, among the possibilities is that the child was stillborn. But according to the forensic report, this is not the case. The child was born alive. Charles Rickers responds to this as follows.
If they're experienced trial lawyers, they probably already know that a lot of this is going to boil down to the actual path report, the autopsy. And they'll need an expert on their own to determine whether or not there really was air in the lungs, whether that really means that the baby was born alive. We don't know whether there was any other signs of trauma to the baby. So I don't know if our case would be that helpful, other than they do need some experts.
Yes, he completely denied the arguments made by them. He also questioned the competence of the professionals who conducted the autopsy just minutes before. And as he just mentioned, in a way, he is demanding that other professionals take over. Taking into account the argument that when the baby was born, it didn't cry. What made her think it was dead? But is this a justification for disposing of it?
I would want to know all the background on the young lady, whether she has any type of mental health issues, whether she's been treated that way, how she's done in school, whether she's always been well behaved, well adjusted, et cetera, et cetera. There's a ton of stuff that goes into defending this young lady.
What does the lawyer say about this? Yes, he has alleged that she may have a mental problem, which led her to do this, which is possible. But in that case, she would be taken to a psychiatric hospital. Another allegation is that it could have been overwhelming fear she experienced at the moment that caused her significant trauma. But based on the earlier statement that the baby was dead from birth, even though the autopsy says otherwise, he could be charged with lying. Fortunately, she has nothing in her history that suggests this type of behavior. This could work in her favor and give her an advantage in court, not to mention the circumstances of the moment. Now, what is about to be discussed is very sensitive for sensitive ears, but this is what was mentioned by her close associates.
We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was denying that she had sex. Then she said she had to go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She was in there for quite a while. We kept knocking on the door. Finally, we got her to open the door, and there was blood and shit everywhere. She was cleaning it up. Okay. So we took her back to the room, and I was afraid that she knew she was pregnant. She had done something to herself. So the doctor started doing a vaginal exam on her. We had the lady come to clean the bathroom. She put the baby in the trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid.
Yeah. How old was the baby?
I don't know. It's full term. She just had it. She had it in the bathroom. Was what happened, and then whatever she did, I don't know. She's gonna lie. She wouldn't tell us she's pregnant. She's been lying the whole time.
Okay.
So that's what's going on.
This could become a problem in the courts. This strong precedent of what was done at that time could be a contentious issue, as the testimony makes it seem like she did it herself, that she induced the abortion and didn't have it spontaneously. The case of Alex Travisco, a 19-year-old accused of killing her newborn and leaving it in a hospital trash bin in New Mexico, raises crucial questions about justice and healthcare. Her release on bail before her high school graduation has sparked controversy, especially considering the gravity of the charges against her. The finding of air in the baby's lungs in the autopsy indicates a live birth, which could be crucial in the trial. The story of a similar case in New Mexico, where a teenager was sentenced to 18 years in prison for a similar crime, adds complexity to these legal matters. As the case unfolds, the importance of scientific evidence and Travisco's mental health will become central points of discussion.